Nelson at Trafalgar, Pliny the Elder, Odysseus, Wallace and Gromit. It's ultimately about being sick on the Scillonian ferry. Colloquially known by people from Penzance as the sick bucket or the great white stomach pump, the Scillonian, my wife and I took a day trip to the Scillies, and to be fair to the people in the Isles of Scilly travel shop, they advised us not to go. But we still went. This poem is about failing to heed good advice, really. There's a disclaimer at the bottom: the Isles of Scilly are beautiful and you should visit them. This is called the sick bucket. At the Isles of Scilly travel shop, we were given a bit of a shock when their folk advised us not to go. We told them, we're from maritime stock. It's going to get rough out there, they said. Before it's better, it'll get worse. So we've only got ourselves to blame, or were they psyching us in reverse? Those first few miles didn't seem so bad, of course we're still in the calm of the bay. But our meeting with the Atlantic caused a sea change to darken our day. The clues were all there. Easy wipe seats. Sick bags displayed like flowers in church. Tourists placed towels on toilet side chairs for seeing that first ominous lurch. At this point I'm calm but affected. The recall is my wife's and not mine, but I'm smouldering like Vesuvius in the year of our Lord 79. A sweat like lava poured out of me. There's a mounting concern for my heart, and my skin took on a greenish hue. Odinil on the home-based paint job. That maritime stock is now laughing. Yes, I know, just who was I fooling? The ghost of a great-great-great-granddad rolled his eyes and sailed back to Doolin. Waves of nausea washed over me like the waves of no sea from my past. Not calm like Nelson at Trafalgar. I'm just fearful to fire the first blast. It may have been my trigger stomach that was cause of all the upheaval. It could have been me who urged them to a more than necessary evil. Primed to launch that initial broadside, I did my utmost best to chuck it into a pre-prepared Sainsbury's bag, but I missed on the old sick bucket. So what did I care from that point on? If I breached the others' defences, I battened down hatches, closed my eyes, made the most of my other senses. Nascent foghorns cried out from their nests as a baby sobbed uncertain tears, but how he felt in the reticence of his parents to comfort his fears. A cacophony of wretches retched, their eyes squeezing out of their orbits, piteous wails and the gnashing of teeth on those high-content ginger biscuits. My mind recreated surroundings as people lay abject and fainting, and clung to dear life in a scene that Jericho can't wait to start painting. Synchronised sick bags persist as if we're all into this summer's craze. You'll have heaps of fun with mal de mer, and just think of the money you'll save. For 2 long hours this torment persists as I float in and out of my wits. How can the word sick mean great these days? Although Sikorsky certainly fits. The ship now filled with that acrid stench, that familiar reek of vomit. The spent forced silence endures until a child's toy cries out, "Nice cheese, Gromit." I'm not one for voicing shortcomings, but this time I really must insist. Had Dante sailed on the Scillonian, a 10th circle of hell would exist. Arrival at Hughtown did little to becalm the churn in my nethers. As blinking and bleached I made footfall in my pair of spew-splattered trousers. A half-hearted meal was partaken before we could set off and explore. Unwinding was out of the question as we're back on that vessel at Ford. The sun burnt away our misgivings as the Isle bid us stay ever long. We passed on the lotus leaf pasties and the CD of a siren song. Caressed by those palm-waving zephyrs, typically subtropical really, so familiar yet so different. How could we not love? It's just silly. The sail home was hot, blue and balmy. It was more like a cruise on the Med. Wish myself here? Well, what's not to like? Such a change from wishing myself dead. So yes, I'll go back to the Scillies by boat, Mill Pond only, but someday I'll quote Latin to sum up our trip. Sick in transit, glorious Monday.